Sometimes, from time to time, I could help my fellow students with their projects. I could help them with their assignments, and etc. I finished my certificate. Now I was supposed to proceed to the next level, but I didn't because now I got a full-time job. I got a full-time job. I tried juggling between being a full-time student and a full-time job. I couldn't make it. So I thought, I think I need to get the career. So I need to get the experience that the industry needs. I need to meet more people. I need to network. I need to learn what the market wants.
You are quite lucky to have gotten a placement already at that level. You are aware that some of the graduates in many instances have bachelor's and master's degrees, but they are jobless. So congratulations, by the way. What job and where?
I got a job at the Standard Group, and I got there as a developer. I think I could remember.
What next?
From there, I still continued to do my research. I continued to develop. I continued to learn more. I got opportunities to travel to different countries. I still got opportunities to give mentorship talks. I was invited to mentorship programs. I was invited to be a mentor at a number of startups across East and Central Africa. One of them was Caleb, Rwanda, ISADIS in Ethiopia. I also started my own mentorship program here in Kenya, and I was mentoring about 60 students across East and Central Africa. And then after that, I think I went to Ethiopia for a couple of months, where I was going through universities from the northern side to southern, then back to Kenya. And then after that, I joined the BBC, and then I did a couple of things. So worked as photographer, developer, designer. I also had opportunities to also go different universities also as well, to give mentorship talks and talk about technology, talk about photography. And that's where now I got the opportunity to photograph the Pope, Obama, and the likes.
Oh my gosh, that is really interesting. Obama is such an icon. Everyone would wish to have that opportunity. How did you get the opportunity to photograph him? How were you feeling?
Mixed feelings. Again, I want to thank my bosses then at the BBC for having seen that skill and talent in me, and they gave me the opportunity to do it.
Was it in the United States or Kenya during his trip?
During his trip to Kenya. Yeah. The Pope also during the trip to Kenya. I think that was the closest I've been to power. It's just one of my skills. So photography, design, and the programming has given me this unique advantage to be able to develop world-class solutions and to be able to beat the international standards and the market here.
Imani, I'm going to take you back a little bit on what you told me earlier on about doing mentorship. I know that you've been doing it more widely, not just locally, but globally as well. Why take that route? I mean, you are doing pretty well yourself.
My grandfather growing up, used to be me, my brother, my sister. When we were growing up, we used to be this band of three. And every time before we went to school, my grandfather used to say, pass by my window so I could pray for you. And my grandfather used to say, look after your little young ones and look after your parents. And when you learn something new, make sure that you teach someone also. And he used to say that for many years. Of course, now he's passed, and sometimes I look back and I'm like, I wish he was alive today to see a number of things he said, how they have turned out to be. So when I started the mentorship program, I looked at the challenges I was facing growing up. You want to know something, but there's no way of getting to learn, because back then again, the internet hadn't really spread out, and the people who knew much were not easily accessible, because probably either they were in high offices, we're living in Kisii in the country, and you literally had to travel to Nairobi to come and get to know something. So I always thought to myself, and I say, what if the cure to, let's say, cancer lies in some impoverished kid in the rural remote parts of a given country, and they have no way of getting this knowledge out. So I said, I will take it up to me to teach one, teach two, teach three, whoever can reach out to, if I identify a skill in them, a talent in them, and of course if it aligns with what I know best, and that's technology. I will do my level best to help them where they can. Either give them access to reading materials, give them access to devices, give them access to a number of things.
You are a Kenyan that found a new home in the US. How did that happen? And when did you relocate?
It just happened. I'm here now.
How did that happen?
All I can say is just by God's grace.
You're quite diplomatic with your words, Imani. Come on.
When it happened, that was in 2018, 19. I got an offer to relocate, to live, work, and study. So I took it up. I said, this is the golden geese, And after that, I was fortunate enough to get an offer from this amazing company in Raleigh, that's a telecommunications company. And it's a telecommunications and software company. And that's where I'm now helping build wonderful products for people to use across the world.
So hold up a little bit. So you left me wondering on what transpired when you got a job. Did you finish your studies?
Well, finally, before I left the country, I had the opportunity to go back to school, finish and graduate, which I did, and I thank God. And I thank my father for being very insistent and very persuasive. He said, you and me cannot laugh, cannot smile if you don't bring me that paper, bring me that accreditation that yes, I so and so, I sat and I have done. And I did it. And then after that, I got the opportunity I got the Yali Scholarship, Young African Leaders Initiative that was started by President Obama when he was in the country, bringing several youths across different parts of the world, parts of Africa, sorry, and bring the sharp minds together, develop products, develop solutions to help the African challenges we face. So I got that opportunity, and I went there. And then after that, I think I can say things culminated into where I am now.
About studies, were you doing it from the US? How was it?
No, they were actually based here in Chandare Center, Kenyatta University. I think it was it 60 days? I think it was 60 days, yeah. Then I was in the business and innovation track, where I met several people from other parts of East Africa. We had from Burundi, we had Uganda, we had Tanzania, we had Ethiopia, and we had Eritrea and Congo. We had Congo Brazzaville and Congo Kinshasa. And we also had Central Africa Republic. And I met some of the most brilliant minds I have ever met. People who come from very humble backgrounds. They got dreams and solutions, and we were able to learn and forge something. And we made a promise to ourselves to help our countries.
You've been to Denmark, Netherlands, Ghana, Tanzania, and the US. Tell me how you prepared yourself to set foot in America.
Some of these things, I think I can say, sometimes life doesn't prepare you, no matter what you do to prepare. Quote unquote, we say, I think I'm going to do X, Y, Z so I can be able to get A. I don't think not everything in life that really prepares. You prepare to a certain extent just to mitigate. But when actual life happens, you got to learn, relearn, and learn the better way. It was late spring, late autumn, fall. It was very cold. It was freezing. I'm used to the tropical weather. It was freezing. It was cold. And because I remember when I was leaving, I had a baggage limit, so I couldn't carry much that I wanted. Blanketi, shuka, masweta, makoti. And my mom was making fun of me. Was you'll find it better there. No need to carry. So I was freezing. So it was crazy. It was tough. The cold was tough, but the culture was great. Depending on how you want to take it. The shop was great. The culture was great. Everything was great.
So after landing to this new country, what next? Who picked you up?
My uncle came for me. He came for me, and off we went, and gave me the initial intros. I think the second day or the third day. The very first thing I did, my dad had given me about $500. By Kenyan standards, that's so much money. But the first thing I did is I remember I went to a bank, opened an account, and I created an Amazon account, and I bought a number of books. I bought a number of books in, software development, systems architecture, Linux. And I taught myself, now I'm here I am, this is my world, so I have to do some learning. So as I was during the great holiday, I was studying. So I used to go to the community library and I used to study. So during the day, community library, weekends I used to go to church or go to the park. And then community library, then home.
Wow. It's so interesting that after your bank account opening, you opened an Amazon account and your first purchase was books. You invested your money in knowledge, Imani. How so?
Actually, when I left Kenya, I had 6 cartons of books. I moved with my books. I always move with my books. If you look at my backpack right there, I still have books. I work with books. I'm an old school guy. I don't like reading on a computer or on the phone. I find it very destructive. I'd like a place where I can jot down my notes and highlight and read. My father used to say, if you don't read, you don't learn and you don't change. And so learning has been a part of me.
What is your current job like?
I'm more of a morning person, so I operate best between 2 o'clock in the morning and around 10 o'clock during the day. So wake up, my devotion, go to the gym, come back in the house, get breakfast ready, then I have a couple of minutes to read, and then I get to work. Then I do work, and then get ready for work, and then go to work. So primarily my job is all about writing computer software. If you looked at my computer right now, you'll find a couple of pages up for writing software.
You understand that AI is everything right now in developed countries. It's been a go-to problem solver. Tell me more about it.
During also COVID, there was lots and lots of technologies were developed around AI, around automation. And we could have cleaning machines that were completely automated, unmanned, and they could do things. So I think that's where the world is headed to. I have seen a number of people locally here who have developed systems, who are big into the world of AI. I remember when I was in JCOT, there was this guy who developed a sexual reproductive health bot that could provide reproductive health and was based on artificial intelligence. I think if we continue at the pace we are and maybe put in a little bit more effort, I think we can catch up with the rest of the world. But definitely we are going to.
I'm so glad that you found what really sets your heart on fire career-wise, like you put it prior. I'm interested, however, to know whether your heart's on fire socially. So tell me, are you married, dating, kids, anything?
Yes, you said. Yeah. Yes, you said.
Do you miss Kenyan food? How do you survive without Kenyaji chicken, nyama choma, and other native foodstuffs?
I think the longest I've driven to go look for chicken was 193 kilometers to look for chicken. And when I found those chicken, I still have the pictures I'm going to show you. I was very excited. I was with my friend. It's like, oh, wow, we've bumped onto a treasure trove. So there was this Irish guy. He's got a farm, and he keeps chicken, he keeps goat, he keeps cow, what they call it, beef. He keeps beef. He had peacocks, he had pheasants, and etc. So I found chickens, and I was like, yes, that's it. So I think that day we ended up buying 32 chickens, and we skinned 2 goats, and we said, I think it's gonna be a while before we drive again. So, and since then we started now identifying farmers in the country who keep these organic animals, because everything is pretty much almost GMO, and the test changes, you know, especially if you've grown up outside the US, then you would know that, you know, something should test differently than what you have. So local food is highly sought for. You can do whatever it takes to have it.
Many thanks for your time, Imani, and best wishes. Did you enjoy Imani's story? What time do you wake up? I think 2 a.m. is quite early for me though, but it's quite a motivation to try. Remember, we air every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Kenyan time only on KTN News. And if you have a story you'd like to share with the world, please don't hesitate. Write to us through globtraction@standardmedia.co.ke or DM us on our social media platforms at globtraction or at KTN News KE. You can also give me a follow on my social media pages at Basil Telewa on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok for more of behind the scenes. But until then, I hope to catch up with you again soon. Ciao, ciao.
KTN News. Get the whole story.